Yeah. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is another week of Artists in Progress.
With me today, I've got the awesome and fantastic Brian, aka Mantlebeard, and Brandon, Chaos Within Studios. How are you guys doing today?
Doing okay. I'm speaking for Brandon, so I'm gonna say how he's doing.
Wonderful. Brandon, you're doing okay according to Mantlebeard.
Yep, according to Brian, I am doing just fine.
Rock on,
great.
rock on. Yeah. It's been an eventful weekend for myself. I'm not sure about you guys. We haven't caught up just yet. But anything you guys did this over the weekend?
I don't know if anybody that I'm doing this commission for can see it, because I don't know if they're on the podcast, but I'm doing a commission for a wedding piece.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay.
Tuxedo mask and Queen Serenity for somebody.
That's sick, bro. Looking good, dude.
Just doing that. Getting some
Rock
stuff
on.
done.
Like
Brian, what about you, boss?
I did some socializing, which is I'm not accustomed to, and then I came home and worked on the comic some more.
Awesome.
I found things that I don't like about it, and I'm trying not to get too lost in making adjustments, but there were some blaring things that I had to fix.
Well, you're the writer, you're the artist, you're the creator, you're the editor, you're the inker, the colorist, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I can understand that, right? Like you're like, oh, maybe I looked over that and I was like, maybe I should fix that. But yeah, don't get too deep on the edits there, bro. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll end up 2 years deep and you'll be like, I made the final edits. And then you'll be like, nah, scrap it, bro. I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'm hoping that's coming along and you're almost finished with that, dude. I'm very excited to see that come to fruition. I had Comic-Con this weekend, and it was very, very, very eventful and informational and I don't know, exhausting, all in the exact same vein. I went to Nickel City Comic-Con. That's up here in Buffalo, New York. And it was it was a surprise show. Really, honestly, surprised me. I mean, it's usually a pretty busy show, but this year they decided to change the entire layout, and whatever they did seems to have worked pretty well. So my setup wasn't quite what it was last year. So there's a little bit of I've improved as well, and I got new pieces from last year and stuff like that. But Friday was hectic because they opened the show at 2. So we set up on Friday. They opened the show at 2. I had to leave by 5:30 so I can get to a graduation. So it was a bad weekend for Friday specifically, unfortunately. But Friday was actually really busy, which really sucked. It wasn't like people were spending mad dough on Friday, but it was like people were walking around and they were seeing what was there and seeing what they're gonna do for the weekend and plan out their weekend. A lot of people were doing. And then so I ended up going to the graduation. So we did that. My niece and my nephew graduated. Congratulations, Shelby and Alex. You guys did great. Congratulations, graduation class of 2026. Super proud of them. And so we did that. Went back home, and then we had to get up early the next morning so we could drop the kiddos off, and then headed into the show and get everything all ready, situated, and we tried to walk around a little bit and talk to our friends. You know that it's a good thing and an awful thing to have friends at a show that you're at, because man, I tell you what, we got there like an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half early, and if the show had not opened by the time I looked at my watch, after just talking to the people that I knew, I was like, where did the time go, man? So great. It's great to see friends. Awful to sit there and talk to them while the show is opening, right? But Saturday was great, man. Saturday was a fantastic show, and I got bombarded with commissions. I don't think I've ever drawn so much in my entire life. But I am extremely honored. For those of you who tune in, watch this later, if you've got a commission from me, whatever, thank you so much. You guys rock. You made the biggest difference in this last weekend for me, so thank you. And then, Sunday was the conclusion of the show. It was a little bit slower, but we had the kids and we just kind of about 2:33 ish. We kind of finally did our own shopping and walking around, and I got to meet Scott Eanes, the voice actor of Shaggy and Scooby. And if this dude did not just sign my stuff for free, what an awesome dude! I tell you what, I gave him a print of my Scooby Scream, and I told him about the time I met Matthew Lillard, and he did the voice for the kiddos, and he's like, hey, this I would love to connect with you on this. If you want to send it over to me, he gave me his email address, and we connected that way. And he's like, and then the guy's like, hey, how much do you want me to charge him for this? He said, nah, don't worry about it, don't charge him. So I'm like, wow, dude, thank you so much. Now have Matthew Lillard and Scott signed on the cover of the book, which is super super cool. Might need to get the original actor for Scream on the book as well at some point. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah,
That would
trifecta
be
right
cool.
there. Yeah, that'd be sweet, dude. So that was pretty cool. That made my weekend. I did not get to get the original turtle actors' signatures. I didn't have time for that. They actually kind of were busy for the most part for the weekend. So that was good for them. And then we had like Stephanie Phillips, which I didn't get a chance to chat with her, which would have been really cool because she left at 2 on Sunday. Unfortunately, sucks because that's about the time I, obviously do my walkarounds. But anyways, so it was a crazy weekend. It was great, and learned a lot of things, talked to a lot of people, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to next year's show. Now I got a nice 2-month break almost from shows, which will be really cool. I get to concentrate on our show here, and we get to talk about some cool things. And we'll get right into our subject for tonight here in a second. And yeah.
So how does this show usually? Is this like on par? Does this seem like it's up for this?
Yeah, so I was definitely up. I was definitely up in attendance. It was up as far as sales goes. I would say honestly, with the way that the year's been going, this has probably been my best show, which is surprising to say the least. I was not expecting the outcome that I did. The downside is the tables are really expensive for what the show is.
Okay.
I paid for 2 artist tables, probably I think it was like $680.
Did you make it all back?
Oh.
I did make that back, and then some. I covered cost and gas and all that stuff, so there was a profit to be made at this show, which was great.
That's cool.
And I talked to a friend of mine, and this will be good advice for you guys and for anybody listening at home. I've been doing this thing where I take in the calculation of the next show for the show that I'm doing, and the amount I paid for the table already. And he told me that is not a good way to look at it, and you'll never really feel like you're ahead if you're looking at it that way, because you've already thought about it, that you've paid for it at the previous show, right? So think of it that way instead, as versus I have to pay for the table, and I've already paid for the table, so I have to recoup this much money to be positive, right? Don't think of it that way, because you've already paid for the table. It's already come out of your equation.
Oh, I see.
So you're like, so when you're thinking about it like that, you're like double dipping yourself into your own expenses. You're like, man, I really didn't make that much because now I have to pay another $680. Now I'm paying $1,200 because I've already paid for the table. So, but you've already taken into account that for last year. Don't take it into account for this year. That was kind of the thought process. I'm like, you know what, dude? That made a $680 difference in my weekend.
Right? That's awesome.
Yeah, right. So, I'm gonna stop doing that, which is great. But yeah, I'm very excited that show went well, but I'm able to admit I'm super excited to get a break, man. It's been constant, just show. It's been 3 shows this month, and then we have just a little shindig next month, which isn't nothing fancy, but it's been just nonstop going, man. I don't know how some guys can do it. it's like I said, I like I was telling you guys before the show started, I went home Sunday night and I just passed right out, dude. We got the kids in bed and I zonked, man. I kid you not. I was just, and then I think I slept till like 12 the next day. It was exhausted, and we got home at like 6:30. So what does that tell you? It was exhausted. Yeah, it was rough, man. But anyways, so let's get into our topic for this week. We are talking about posers, the people who like to pose. I'm just kidding. We're talking about tools, the tools behind the job, and we're gonna highlight a couple. We're gonna talk about a couple. We're very excited. This is kind of a little bit new for us. It's kind of a little bit of a review / a little bit of like what we're thinking as far as how to use them, where it is appropriate, where it's not, and yada yada yada. So this will be interesting. This will be a first exciting, interesting show for us where we are actually talking about something very specific. So we're very excited. Yeah, who wants to go first? Brian or Brandon? You want to Rochambeau for it?
I'm a little too old for that.
Too old to Rochambeau? What the hell are you talking about? You're never too old to Rochambeau.
Is it the Rochambeau from South Park? And then you'll know why. Those little swift kick in the balls. I don't want.
Oh, okay.
You can go ahead, Brian.
Oh, okay.
I want to see if I can do two things at the same time on here.
All right,
go ahead.
Let me find my images. Where did I put those?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, for those of you who aren't entirely sure what the hell we're talking about, here in the art industry, there are a plethora of different types of tools that we use, and we've transitioned a lot more into doing digital style tools, like, for example, some of these tools that we're going to highlight, where basically it is a 3D model or an anatomy model that you're able to move around, pose in any way that you need for making your next piece, your next panel, your anything like the sort. We've had a couple of videos of other artists doing similar things where they kind of talk about their process and their breakdown of when they need it, they use it, and what their preference is. And so we're going to kind of do a low / high level overview of a couple of them, talk about what we liked and what we didn't like, and then kind of go from there. Ooh, yeah. And before we go in, we got Tom. What's up, Tom? Welcome in, bro. Good to see you. Tom's over on Twitch today. Sweet, man. Thanks for tuning in. We've got somebody on Twitch. What's up, posers? What's up, Mr. Poser?
So this came about from me kind of just going through the standard thing of wanting to capture a certain look on something, and there's a group of people that are real live people that pose different ways, and I was searching for them, and they just sort of disappeared off the face of the internet. And so I started looking for other things, and then I started getting inundated with all these apps, and it made me wonder, like, what's up with all this stuff, and are they any good, and who are they good for? So yeah, I mean, this was interesting because I didn't really, aside from a sort of a superficial level, I didn't really have a whole lot of experience with these kind of things. I have to say that I have a reluctance to even use them because they just seem a little bit unnatural for me. They just feel like I don't know. They don't feel like they fit how I approach creating an image. Now, I will say that what I found was really cool. Like they were the ones I looked at, which was, let's see, I looked at. I did Pose My Art. I think it's posemy.art. I did one called Set Pose, and then I downloaded, because it's only for download, but it's Design Doll. And
cool.
You okay? Everything good?
Oh no, yes. I just said, yeah, cool. I said,
okay,
you're good.
Sorry,
keep
the
going.
audio was weird.
Sorry.
So, and then like each one of these, there was like aspects to some that were just like, oh, that's not bad. Other things why I didn't like. Overall, I would say that I liked Design Doll the most. In the way that it implemented the posing feature. Like some of these, especially, which one was it? I think it was Pose My Art. Was very much just like a standard what I experience when I'm doing like 3D modeling. It's like that straight up rigging. You get these little anchor points or whatever they're called. Those things, those like vector points that you click that area and then you can rotate and maneuver that whatever that's like rigged to. So it could be like you click the area for the hip and that controls the entire hip, and then you have to click the area for the knee and then reposition like the lower leg. And so you get into like these you can kind of fine tune it. Let's see. I want to do a I want to share something.
Yeah. Sure.
I want to just show. It's probably self-explanatory, but like, yeah. So Pose My Art was the most familiar in the sense of like a traditional modeling experience that I've had, where it had all these little points that you can click on, everything from the torso, the neck, the head, all the joints, the fingers. Every finger had like a little point that you can change. So this is an example of. Let's share this.
Tom says, Design Doll is my favorite tool. True Ref has my favorite real human poses. Nice.
Got something coming through there.
There we go. Add it in. Make it, why can I not make this? Oh, I see why. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see I just kind of maneuvered some stuff around, but all these points are the areas that you can click on and you can change it. I changed this one up to see like how it would look if you wanted to get a perspective of somebody flying or jumping or something. Now I will say what's kind of cool about this is like if you have no idea what you want to draw, but you want to draw somebody doing, a thing, but you're not even sure. Like you don't even see it in your head what it can look like. This is great for being able to turn the camera in different places, and you get the foreshortening. You get to see what areas are larger, closer, what kind of things, like where the shoulders obstruct the lower back or something. It's really good at kind of getting a general sense of how the body works in space, and you can maneuver like the wrist and stuff. So if you want to see how the wrist will look at a certain angle and stuff like that, really good for that kind of stuff.
I like that even the blocks are kind of in perspective almost, as you can kind of see with the arms there. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean the one detriment that all of these have, which I don't know if there's anywhere around that, and I think that's one of the things that bugs me the most, is like I don't know how far I want to get into this part, but let me just say that there is a like
you can go as deep as you want, man.
Like for me, if you're at a level where you're kind of just getting into this kind of stuff and you're struggling with some of the basics of how a body looks, and then it's on you to position the body, then I feel like there's no safeguards, like I guess is what
I got you.
Is like you can do anything you want, and the program allows you to do it. Like you can see like on this thing, like I maneuver this finger, and it's like that's not natural. But there's nothing to catch you, so like you can get into all these things, and you can really kind of screw it up. I even had one where I just took the arm and just kind of twisted it around, and it was just like way back here and around the head, and
break that finger, man says.
So for this one, it was, and this one seemed like it was a very popular one that popped up a lot for at least for my searches for like pose references.
Yeah.
Very very familiar interface, very much like Blender or Nomad. I've used those kind of sculpting tools. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's very straightforward. It covers the basis. You can maneuver the figure around in 3D space.
Yeah.
A good place to start. I think this one is free and also has a paid level to it.
Okay.
And you can do things like you can change. It does offer like some cool stuff where you can change, like if you want it to be a female body or a male body or different body types and stuff like that. All of these were really good at that kind of thing. Like you can change. I think this one had more of a library where you could just kind of open up a library and
pick a pose.
You can pick a pose, but you can also like pick a body shape. Like, I want this like really buff guy, or I want this kind of thing. That they even had things like I want a skeleton. I want something that's sort of blockier, and so they were prefab kind of shapes. So that was that one, and then I tried the one I'm not going to talk about too much because it was okay, but it just didn't do anything for me. Was Set Pose. It was very just very basic. What I did like about it that was different from this one was that it was like it didn't use the points to maneuver. It didn't use those anchor points. It used, let's see, I'm gonna stop sharing that one.
Yeah.
And where's my files? It's this one. All right, so let's open this guy up. All right, let's see. And we're gonna share. We're gonna share again.
Oh.
Okay.
There it is.
So in this one, it's you can just grab the figure and start maneuvering it. Like you can just pull things, like I could just grab this figure and just lift it into the air and kind of. There were these things like you can see this kind of rotation.
Yeah.
So you had things like that where it would kind of default to certain rotations, and then on the side you could change like whether you wanted to change the angle, if you wanted to change the tilt. So very basic controls, but a novel way I think compared to the first one I did. It was very novel, very kind of just like you just want to get in there and start posing. Like you don't have to figure out like what are these things doing, what are these points, and how do these move. You could just like start grabbing stuff with your cursor and move stuff around.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. Very basic level for me though. I think this one also had the ability to have like prefab models, but it didn't really do anything for me. I was just like, okay, this is like if you just need to do something quick and you just want to get in there, pose something as rough as you can, and maybe you're just trying to get an idea for a scene and then move on. So, and I'm pretty sure this one also had a free thing and a paid level, but for the most part, it was just like, okay, that's what that is.
So here's my question with these is like, so these ones that you were looking at,
Yep.
How fast was it from time to load up to time that you had the pose that you were looking to make? How quick was it for both of these? Was there a benefit to one of them over the other, or?
Yeah, that's the one thing that I would say is like and I think that's one thing that kind of bugs me is like especially for the ones that have all the points that you have to grab and twist and turn. That just seems like a lot of time that I was wasting just getting into. Like if I was 3D modeling something, yeah, definitely you want to kind of get into the details of how that thing wants to look. But if I'm eager to get into a scene that's in my head that I want to get onto the page, It seems
Mhm.
like a lot of time. Like I spent just maybe 20, 25 minutes just trying to get like things maneuver, like just getting familiar with the interface and then just moving things in a way that wasn't like you move it a little bit and you're like, no, that looks like crap, and then you have to move it in a different way. And so yeah, there was a lot of time just invested in non-productive screwing around. I guess it didn't.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
didn't seem like it was. It didn't seem like it was a productive thing, at least from my way of how I would approach creating something for a comic or something.
Right.
Yeah. Green Ranger, what's up? How you doing tonight? Matt says James's voice just came through my TV like the voice of God. My cat has a new deity.
Yeah, change it to the low Australian voice there.
Yes. Thank you for worshiping me.
So let's see. The last one I did was called Design Doll,
Yeah.
and I like this one the most because it. Let's see. Let's bring up. This
It's
one
really
had.
it's really the fur the cat likes. Sees all the fur on our faces.
This one had like a mix of of what was it, set pose, and a mix of pose my art.
Okay.
Like, the interface was also very just like kind of get in there and do things. It had a little bit more detailed ways you could change things. Like you could like let's see in here you can turn the body, you can lift it up in the air, you can reposition it with these axes things. But you could also just kind of get in there and grab an arm and start moving it around. And at first
Yeah.
it was really weird to me because the arm would just kind of flip around. But then as I played with this one for probably 15 minutes, but I just was able to kind of maneuver things up and twist the camera and then reposition the arm a different way and get it the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
It seemed a lot more intuitive. One thing I did like was like, let's see, does this come through? Yeah. So like you could get in, it's like really cool. You could get into zooming in on the hand, and then on the side where you can see the hand drawing, all those little lines in the diagram there are areas where you can adjust. So you can grab a knuckle by that and maneuver and change that around and change the angles and stuff. So I thought that was a really inventive way rather than just getting into those little points that you click and move. I thought that was a clever way to change around the image the way you wanted it and make those fine-tuned points without just getting into all those little areas that you had, those little anchor points or whatever they're called. I thought that was kind of cool. It does the same thing for the feet.
Okay.
Yeah. And this one also had some prefab stuff for like you could open up a library and it had like these different hands that are posed a certain way. So you had like, let's open this one up, the last thing. Had like kind of almost like a Spider-Man kind of prefab thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
So I thought that was neat.
That's useful. I think like hands are the most useful part of a lot of these posing tools. Everybody struggles with hands, especially, especially if you're starting out. You're like, what the hell am I doing with hands?
Right.
And I did like how this one, like I'm sure you could work your way through it, but I like how this one, when you click on the hand focus point, the camera just automatically zooms in on that spot. So
that's cool.
You don't spend any time trying to get the camera to get in the position where you like it. It's a nice way to make adjustments that way.
That's kind of useful because I struggle with that with clips. So I'll talk about that in a little bit.
One thing I didn't like, and that's just for me, was like if I want to do hands in a certain dynamic pose and I want the hand like fingers really spread out or something, I could not figure out how to get those fingers to spread anymore. They could spread a little bit, but I couldn't get anything that was really dynamic. So
weird.
If you're not looking for that kind of, if you just want a kind of a mainstream realistic pose of a hand, you're not really going for any kind of dynamism,
Yeah.
then that works, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Matt says, are these all programs, or can you play with them in the browser? These were all downloadables, right? That you checked
No,
out.
the first two were browser.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, in fact, actually, I think that's one Brandon's doing, but the Pose My Art, yeah, Pose My Art and Set Pose are definitely in the browser. This one was only
Okay.
download.
Okay. I'll try to get some links together, guys. I'm sorry. I should have thought of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, if you're like at a beginner level and you're looking for something that kind of help you out get through, like trying to envision what the pose would be, I guess it's a good place to start. I just what started this was like me thinking like, how do I get the look of the skin and the muscle and all that kind of stuff is stuff that, for me personally, that's what I need to see. So I know I'm capturing what I want out of that
R-
pose, and these
Right.
these don't do that at all. They don't help at all.
Yeah.
At all for that.
Yeah. And anatomy wise, they're subpar at best, especially in comics, right? Like we're accentuating certain things and making certain muscles bigger and all this other stuff. So
Oh
it's
yeah. Yep.
obviously none of this is going to match that. And a lot of these, and guys, and Brandon, with the ones you looked at, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of these almost seem a little bit more anime-ish, in proportion and style as far as the way that the models are, and that also kind of bugs me because it's like, well, that's not what we particularly do. I mean, obviously, anime seems to be the most popular thing now, um, but yeah, it seems to me that there's not like a huge variation in character size and difference. Now, any of these, did you notice, Brian, when you were flipping through them or messing around with them, were you able to mess the proportions in ways that like could get you somewhere close to what you were looking for as far as character size and build?
I didn't even see a way to do it in Set Pose. It might have been
Okay.
there. I didn't see it at all. The Pose My Art had models that were prefab that you could get. I guess you have to just get in proximity.
Okay.
This one actually had a way, which I thought was cool, that you can just grab different places on the body and start pulling it out, and you can
Yeah.
start morphing the body just by pulling different areas of it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Hmm.
And,
Okay.
and then
Cool.
they had the prefab stuff too. So I could start with, a basic muscle guy, and then I could squish him down and stuff, and maybe make a dwarf or something. But
Yeah. That's cool. Okay.
yeah, that was neat.
That is neat. Let's see. And those are the ones that you looked at, right?
Yep. I even looked
Okay.
at one of the ones Brandon did, but since he's covering it, I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh,
Okay,
high
cool.
fives, man.
Rock on. Out of those that you looked at, which one was your absolute fave? Would you say?
Are you, for me still?
Yeah, for you. Yeah.
Oh, I would say Design Dial is my favorite.
Design doll. Okay.
I like the interface was much more intuitive.
Okay.
It didn't seem as cumbersome as the other one, and it wasn't too simple like Set Pose. So it was
Yeah.
a nice blend. Plus, I like the way that you can just kind of get in there and just grab stuff and move it around, and that felt good.
Yeah. I guess the downside to that is you have to install it.
Yep, it sure is.
Yeah.
And it's only for Windows, so if you have a Mac, you're out of luck. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Be a real person. Get an Android or Windows. Get out of here with this Mac baloney. I'm just kidding. All right, Brandon. You want to talk about the ones that you did, my friend? You want me to let me get these pictures you sent me pulled up here, and I could share them for you.
Yeah, I know that I missed to uploading them in there, so they're attached or replied to the one set, but I'll go
Oh,
through
okay.
whatever is there, so you could
Okay,
tell
hold
by
on.
what they look like.
Yep. Let me share these real quick. Do 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 do
Next
do.
time I will have it all set up so I can share things from my own screen and stuff. But
Yeah, dude, for sure. Hold on, I gotta actually open the image if that's gonna open for me.
Yeah.
Photos.
If it says pay this price to open picture, just do accordingly.
Yes, I will pay you in all the bitcoins.
All the bitcoins is
Yes. How many? 15 bitcoin? That's nothing, bro. I got you. No, I'm just kidding. Hold on, I gotta. Oh, my computer's freezing up. Sorry, guys. 1 second.
I will say while you're doing that, I do like these as opposed to like sometimes like if I'm using an action figure or anything. All right, so
Yeah.
we'll jump right in because this has a lot to do with what I'm saying. So this is
Okay.
just pose it,
Just pose it.
and
Okay.
the reason why I like this one is it's just like the first one Brian was doing. You could take all the fingers, you could turn them anyway, but the lighting is where it's at in this one because you can change where the light comes from. And in another picture, you'll see it. There's like 3 arrows that are there. You can change where the light goes around. So if you ever have an issue where we're like, man, I just can't get the lighting in my picture right, this will allow you to show you like the shading. And again, too, like in those other programs, there are preset models that you can use. This one, the reason why I like it the most is because most of the models aren't anime based like a couple of the other ones are. And then
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to flip to another one, and
Oh,
you can
yep.
see the
Sorry.
ellipses there too. You can turn your wrists, turn the head, turn the body, and you can see like how the lighting goes right across down the top of the head and across the chest, so it's on the chest.
Yeah, the
You
lighting's
know,
nice. Yeah, the lighting's
yeah,
a nice feature on that one, and it gives you almost a similar texture too to help you out too, and you get like a rim lighting and stuff like that, which is nice.
right.
If you're trying to do a full render.
Yeah, and the cool thing too about the hands is like in Brian's the doll one, I think it is, where you can see the picture of the hand. You
Mm-hmm.
can't
Yeah.
necessarily see the picture of the hand in this one, but the knuckles and everything are cut
Oh,
out. This one is a completely different other one, but the knuckles are all cut out so you can, adjust how the
Oh,
thumb's
okay.
bent, and then you could turn like if you're spinning a ball. There's a picture of him holding an apple to
Okay.
yeah, and this, right there.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and then with that, the lighting is also affected that way too. So if you had the lighting and you want to turn it to the one side or this side, and it blurs the face, so you
Oh, cool.
know that that's your perspective,
Yeah.
and how the main focal point is right there.
Matt says, I think the lighting feature is more handy than the
Yeah,
posing feature.
that's
Yeah.
exactly that's why I like it. And so Brian, if you see in this one too, your knuckles are all separated out on this too, just
Yeah.
not in a cooler way. It's just right on the screen, so it kind of
Yeah.
takes up everything. But yeah,
Were you able to get into like very detailed like hand positioning and finger
yeah.
positioning, or does it feel
I
like it's
I tried
constrained?
so because I'm kind of limited. I can't like share my screen because I'm using a Mac, an iPad to
Mm-hmm.
be able to show you. But I was able to do like a Spider-Man pose, and you could spread the fingers way out.
Oh, good.
But you don't do it
Cool.
from this screen. You could just grab it and then pull the fingers like this, or
Okay.
you know, you know how like some Spider-Man poses, the hands are like this, but the fingers are like bent way back. You could do
Yep.
that with this too.
Let me see.
That's cool.
I'm just gonna check here real quick. I want to see if it's on Android as well, or if
Um,
it's just Mac. Oh yeah, it's on Android as
yeah,
well for anybody that's got
yep,
Android at home. This is
yep,
not Apple exclusive. Thank God we are in the era of 2026. There should not be stupid phone exclusive things. I'm just kidding.
right.
Damn you,
But
Procreate.
yeah, absolutely. Like I'm glad that it's like over different things, and I'm not sure if it's Windows based either, because like I know Windows is starting to get their hands into a little bit of apps and stuff too, but I didn't
Yeah.
look that far into that, so unfortunately I don't know. What else we got in there for
Let's see.
picks?
Is it
Yeah.
this
So
same thing?
this is one of the cool things. This
Oh,
is one of the
wow. Look at that.
pre-renders. So you got a
That's cool.
skeleton bone, a different arm. You can mix and match everything that's on here. I'm not saying, use this to create a character in which you probably 100% can. I'm with Matt. I love this for the lighting, but I
Yeah, the lighting's
also
really
know,
good.
yeah, and then you could see like the lighting on the ground and stuff. So when you move the lighting above the character, it's on the ground, and
Mhm.
other cool things too. Like you can move it so the camera's inside the ground, shooting up at them too.
Yeah.
So it's
Cool.
pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
That is good.
yeah. And look at these cool. These are you could do pre-dynamic poses, and then you can move them from there. So that's one of
Cool.
them.
That is
Now,
one.
now, and here's the question I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask you guys here is, and this also goes to you, Brian, because I missed it. Are you able to dynamically adjust the camera in any way, like expand like the focus and like stretch it out in any way? Give it like a what's it like a
Fish
Like a
eye.
fisheye lens,
yeah, like a
almost.
fisheye or any of that stuff? Is that an option that you could choose
To be
Not
or
on
no?
honest with
any.
you, like,
Not on the ones I did.
yeah,
No. Okay.
I didn't get into it that far because like this one here still has a paywall. There's some things that you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
access unless you buy.
Those
But I
darn
mean,
paywalls.
but I'd assume too, like there's that camera there. You can record it animating. You can move it, in
Oh,
different
that's cool.
poses, and it'll play a loop. And I
Oh,
was able to change you can go way out and see it from there, to see if it helps you with your sequential panel work too, to see what a character looks like from really far away,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because that's what I would be interested in to see if any of these tools can help us, like give us a more forced perspective on things because that's really what comics are like known for almost is that big range of forced perspective, and like making things really big even though maybe you won't see it that well, you know what I mean, you won't see it like that, but it really is making it look dynamic. And we just adjust the camera angle a little bit and make it a wider angle lens or a closer angle lens. So
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool if we could see that in more tools. Yeah,
right.
I don't even think mine has the ability to do that because at least I've never tinkered with it.
hmm Let's
Uh,
see what else we got in here too. There was a couple, yeah, like this here. See, like you could change the angle and the still the light when it comes through. You could shine it right onto somebody else and see what the shadows look like there.
there you
I
go.
I'm
That
I'm
there was that there
messed
was
with the
that
ankle monitor.
sorry to
No,
interrupt you.
no,
My
no,
bad.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say there was that thing going around where people were drawing that character like doing this with their hands and the light was projecting onto the girl's boobs or something.
Oh
It
yeah,
was like
yeah,
an Instagram like little like viral thing that was going around. People were drawing it in their style, which I
yeah.
thought was funny.
I
But this would
saw
be helpful for that.
someone did a comic book cover and they were doing one of the heart things on the front of She-Hulk, and
Yeah,
then on
that's
her
cool.
the shadow was around the Brian's favorite part of the drawing is the boob part.
He said it's an illegal kick.
um,
Nice.
but yeah, next slide,
Cool,
sir.
cool, cool. Yes, yes. We
Yeah,
got
I just
one.
did a couple of different angles so you could see it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I like the. Oh, I
And
like this one's got a
yeah,
nice like
yeah,
anatomical like view. That's nice.
yep.
See,
You can,
that's pretty useful. There you go,
and
Brian.
Yeah, that looks
the
better.
woodblock guy is from Tekken.
The what?
The Tekken fighting game. That's one of the character models is the woodblock guy.
Oh, the wood block guy. Yeah, yeah. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's been forever. I haven't played that in so long.
hmm
That's funny. Yeah, that's cool, man. Let's see what else we got.
Yeah.
The
Back.
the shape of
Yeah.
the female model seems more accurately feminine than the ones I worked with. They seem more, like you said, like anime or something. But this
Yeah.
one seems like
Yeah.
a more realistic.
So this one is a different one. This one is, oh man, I can't remember the name. Doing bad. Hold on one sec. I'll tell you exactly what.
Oh man, you're unprepared. Kick. No, I'm just kidding.
So that one's Magic Poser.
Hi-ya. Okay, magic poser.
Magic Poser to me, again, utilizing
You.
this for light because those arrows there, you can actually take each arrow and you could do
Yeah.
different kinds of light and put it over the different kinds of bodies. So if you ever had, I tried to capture it too, and unfortunately I didn't have the right moment to be able to do this because I was actually working while I was doing this too. But you can do rim light with those arrows. You could put one behind them and then
Okay.
change the color of the light, and you could show it around. But
That's
I,
useful.
I know the premises of this whole episode is the posing part. So this one is a lot like that very first one that Brian did, where you could break their fingers. And you can do it bad too. Like you could take just the tip of it and turn it completely this way, backwards, all of it. But you can spread the fingers out like this.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yep. This one was cool. It's not that high up on my list. This is number 3 for me. But
Now,
because
why is
I
it
did 3.
ranked so low?
So the reason why the rank's so low is because the first one I liked all the character models and the way that the light hits. This one is more like there's a shadow there. There's some different lighting effects there. But to me, it's it's more of a fake light than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it's too soft. There's no hard lighting happening here, which kind of is bothering me. But I mean, I guess if you got the
Yeah.
lighting that close, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
But
but like
yeah.
these were just like screen captures I got from Google because I couldn't screenshot them from my iPad for some reason. I don't know why, but
Oh, maybe they're blocking you. You didn't pay for
yeah,
it.
yeah, Wozniak got me.
No,
But
you cannot do
again,
what you want to do.
there's paywalls in this one too. And I think all the ones I did there was a paywall for things, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean this is good for what it does. And let's see, I
Cool.
don't know if there's any more of this one.
Yeah, he sent me a couple more I downloaded. Hold on.
Were for these kind of
Oh.
things? Do you remember, like, were they all in the same ballpark for cost, or were they all over the place?
I didn't once I saw that they were locked, I didn't
Okay.
really bother because like I'm going to use this for 2 things. I'm going to use it for a pose or a lighting thing, I could almost couldn't care what they were like, This one's a different one. This one's my second favorite one. This one is what is this one? I think this one's Just Sketch Me.
Ooh, just sketch me, baby.
So this one gets wacky, but I love it for this factor right here.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
you can change a little bit of how the camera splays out, kind of almost like a eyefish lens. This is what I was getting to when James mentioned that to me, or to us rather. But you can, where the ball is of the foot, you can tilt that up. And then there's another thing where you can slice where the toes are and tilt those up. And the lighting is still really good. I haven't been able to figure out if you could move the lighting in it yet, but I know that if you move the picture and
Yeah.
turn the characters, then it will change where the light comes from.
Oh, okay,
So,
cool.
But with this, I mean, the cool part is you can have a ton of characters on it, and it doesn't lag your screen out or anything. This is
This
cool.
was another iPad app.
This one is iPad. Yep.
Okay.
All 3 of the ones I did, you can use them on iPad, and
Okay.
the pose that you can use on your Android, you looked that up too, and I think Magic Poser you can also use on Android.
Let me take a look here. I'll take a look. Let me find out. Yes, you can.
I think I had another.
It actually does not have great reviews on Android, which is crazy.
Yeah, but I can almost tell you why some of these don't get good reviews, and this isn't why I would use this at all. Most of what I saw out there, especially on like YouTube and watching people use it, they'll screen capture it, put it on Procreate, and trace over it. So they're not doing any of the work.
Yes, and that's something that I definitely wanna, I want to touch on after we've done with our reviews and stuff for sure.
Yeah, I
That's a
figured
good
you'd
point, though.
probably want to touch with that too, so I'm not going to say too much of it either. But this one again, this one's my second favorite. Pose it's my first, and then the other one not so much just because of the fake lighting and everything, but I do
Yeah,
like these. This one here in Pose It has so many pre-rendered poses and all that, and you could tell it how many. In this one, you could tell it how many people you want on the screen,
yeah.
and you can tell them to do each one, and like again, it won't lag. So
And
that's
like, was this like a scene that you set up, or is this a scene that was like pre-built
so,
into it?
so I did one similar to this on my iPad,
Okay.
but you can literally go through and pick the scene.
Oh, okay, cool. That's
I
neat.
found this similar one online to take a screenshot because I really needed to have that one to show through so I can we could do
Yeah,
this review right.
yeah. No, this is cool. I mean, if they have scenes that you can select from, that is definitely helpful.
Yeah, but
Versus like
yeah.
doing it for a half hour, 45 minutes, posing each thing and being like, oh, this is close enough. Let me just fix this later.
Yeah.
Uh, that's cool.
Again, use it as a tool, though. This is a
Yeah,
cool scene, but the guy that's over there going like this, like the Spider-Man 1000 cover, you
yeah,
should be able to you manipulate that on your paper. You don't have to
yeah.
sit in for hours and hours to do it. Just do it yourself,
Right,
but use it as a
right.
reference,
For
a
sure, for
tool.
sure. For sure, man. That was all you sent me,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah.
all I had.
That
Cool,
looks
man.
exactly like the web interface. So I wonder if that's like a PWA that they it's
Kind of cross interfaced them.
yeah, like a
Brian,
Yeah.
are you using IT technology terms right now on an art stream?
I am.
My God, man. Know
Here,
your
let me
audience.
I'm gonna write it down 1 second.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. A PWA, whatever that means. This guy's talking nonsense. No, I'm just kidding. Matt says, not disappointed on the turkey cover reference. Nice. That's funny. All right, let's take a quick break from this. I'm sure some of you are entertained, but some of you are probably bored. So let's head into our trivia. This one is very random this week, and we'll have some fun with this one. So hopefully, we'll see. I threw these ones together, so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing this week, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's go. We got our trivia. Trivia is starting. Reset results and ready, Freddy. You guys ready for this?
Yep.
Sure.
All right. You guys want me to do it in a voice, or you want to
dude,
just?
you have to do it with
Okay.
the accent though.
Boy, this one right here. Is that what you
Yeah.
mean?
That's
All right.
the one.
All right. All right. The Italian precursor to what art movement was characterized by a greater awareness of what beauty of the world and of the spiritual value of nature? Is it A, Renaissance, B, medieval times, C, the 20th century, or D, the Industrial Revolution? Put your answers in the chat. Also, let me know if my voice is annoying you,
Let me annoy
or
you.
if you love it. And you don't love it. Oh, you're not gonna tell me.
Kel's back.
Hey!
Hey, honey.
Kel.
All right, you guys ready for this one? Is that everyone's answer? Is everyone good voting? A. The answer is A. The Renaissance. All right. Let's move on to the next one.
You remind me
What's
of
up?
Hyde from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. What is Batman's absolute favorite utility belt gadget to use in his day-to-day civilian life as Bruce Wayne? Is it A, a battery? Is it B, a helmet? C, a credit card? Or D, the bat shark repellent? We're all voting at it. You think Bruce Wayne's gonna be using a battery? You guys are crazy.
Nobody
All
wants
right,
the-
we got
nobody wants the
somebody
shark
changed
repellent?
it. Yeah,
Easy.
shark repellent is a real thing. But by the way, this isn't part of the voice changer. I'm doing the actual accent. Just let you guys know. The answer is C, a credit card. Hopefully I tricked you. Can't take myself seriously. um, in the Marvel Universe, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, can only be lifted by those who are deemed worthy. However, in Avengers, Age of Ultron, the team debates a loophole. According to Marvel logic, what everyday household machine could technically lift Thor's hammer without being worthy? Is it A, a refrigerator, a smartphone? B, an elevator? C, a vacuum cleaner? Or is it D, a lawnmower?
I'm gonna
Says,
place
why
bets
would
on
he
B.
B? Yeah, that's a good bet. Why would he be wearing his utility belt with his slacks?
With slacks.
I think he's referring to Batman. The answer is B, an elevator. Woo! All right, let's see the results. All right, Matt got the highest score. Congratulations, Matt. You fantastic.
He's a winner.
All right, we're going back to my voice now. Hopefully, that's not too much of a shock for y'all.
Right.
Great job, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for answering. Well, so we got one last review we're gonna go over. This one is I'm gonna say the grand finale. I'm just kidding. I apologize. I went last again. It was a busy weekend, but I wanted to go over Clip Studio. So I chose Clip Studio mostly because I'm very familiar with it. And I've been using it, but so we came up with the idea of doing this episode. Matt says, "Woo, he won. Congratulations." Let's see how long you can hold that streak, boss. So as we discovered as I was doing this, they added something secretly, or at least, without me being aware of it. They added this really cool feature, and I'm going to talk about it here in a second. So let's go here. Let me share my screen. Next time, I'll have a completely different voice, so look out for that. All right, can you guys see what I am sharing? Oh, no, probably not. I got to edit the scene. Let's do that. We'll blow it up and put it here. Beautiful. All right, so Clip Studio. As you can see here, I got a model all ready to rock and rumble. We'll do, like, for those of you who aren't familiar, Clip Studio, they have a couple different options as far as pricing goes. You can do it monthly, or you can just buy the software outright. If you get the not pro version, it's actually a really good deal. It's like $50 for the version, and then you get the version that you're currently on, or that it's currently released, is what you pay for. You can then later purchase the upgrades for the licensing, but you get that version for your lifetime. And then you can do the monthly subscription, which they have different tiers based on what you use and how many different devices you use. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Which, like, I think the lowest tier was like $2 a month or something like that. It's really cheap. So there are options if you want to. As far as I'm aware, if you do the free version, you can do a free version on, like, your tablets and stuff, but you get like a half-hour time, and then you can't actually save anything. So they kind of really, like, force you into buying, but they're like, okay, you're gonna enjoy it. You get an entire suite, and you can use this across all of your devices at this point. You can get it on Android, Apple, Windows, and even Linux. So worth checking out. It works just as well as Photoshop does. There's, some limitations, but so hopping into this, and you guys can still see what I'm showing off, right? Because it's blocking my view of you guys at the moment.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so as you can see here, I'm going to zoom in just a smidgen. You can adjust these characters however you would like. As far as like, where they are in the scene, their tilt, you can adjust so if you click on their head here, you can adjust all different angles, and it does, like Brian, you had mentioned that some of the limitations, it stops you in certain degrees. But like even here's the thing, it sucks, right? Like you still have to move like the neck and stuff, but it's kind of nice. There's a little bit of nicety to it because it does actually like give you some changes in the way that the character is moving, which is really cool. So there's like limitations. You're not gonna break this dude, you know. Although some of the poses, admittedly, there's still some things you can get him into that like end up really awkward. You're like, he would never he would never be doing this weird pose where he's like, unless he's like pole dancing or something, and then there's this really cool. There's a lot of really cool options. You can mess with the fingers. One of the really cool things, and I can't show you guys live here because I'm sharing my camera right now for the show. But in the bottom corner here, hopefully you guys can see my little mouse.
Yep.
There are options for hand poses. So you can mess around with this, right? You can close the hand, open hand, sort of similar to that one program you were showing off. Let's see. Art of Matt Flint iPad is subscription only. Last I checked. Okay, that's good to know. And Bam says I'm sticking with Manga Studios 5. My God, that was before it became Clip Studios, and not. he says I believe there's an anti-life field pose threshold. Are we cutting off legs? Is that what you're talking about? So yeah, you can mess around with the things. The coolest part though is you can hit this button and you can use your camera to pose the fingers and the hand however you want to.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Oh yeah, you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So you can do that. It'll pick up what you're doing. Now, does it do it really amazing? It does okay. It's definitely been updated. They've definitely worked on it and have made some adjustments to it. But here, and then they have obviously some predefined situations you can put your hand in as well. So you got, so you got this little triangle thing, which is kind of cool. And then, so you have this pose tool. So the pose options is really awesome. And this is where I learned something new today. And I'm like a little bit mind blown. So, and this also kind of leans into what we're talking about today because it is another tool you can use. And it is called Pose Maniacs. And it's a website full of 3D images, basically. They're like 3D turnarounds, I guess is what you want to call them. I don't know. I'll pull it up here in a second. That you can kind of pick from. And the neatest part about this is, and this is so cool. And I don't know if this is just for Windows or not. I haven't tested it out on my tablet. But let me show you this. Let me share my other screen real quick. Share. No tag. Unisex poses. Here we go. Add to scene. Okay. So this is Pose Maniacs. It is a large library of different poses. So you can go, male. You can do standing, lying. You can pick different tags and stuff. And then you can click on one. So here we go. I want to draw Daredevil flying off of a building. Okay, here we go. Yeah, look at this guy's already holding his what do you call it? A baton? What do you call what Daredevil uses? Baton. So he's got his baton, right? Boom. Check this out. There's a button now on Pose Maniacs. So Pose Maniacs and Clip Studio has somehow come together, and you click this button, and of course now I got to switch over to Clip Studio Paint again. You click this button, it opens in Clip Studio. The pose, everything. You don't get the baton, so I'll switch over here. Unfortunately, it's a limitation of our software we're using, so sorry, guys. Let me switch screens again. I guess I could have just shared my whole screen like a dingbat. Here we go. I'll just do this. You guys will see infinitesimal us. All right, so yes. And I'll move this over. So yeah, you can see it opened up. Yeah. It opened up. You can see the whole 3D view. You can pick your view and be done. Boom. All right. And now you have your character. And then you can still modify this, right? You can still adjust this. That was the coolest freaking thing I think I've seen in a program. Like, so I've known about this option. So they have, what you can do is you can extract a pose from an image. So you can go on Google, find a pose. So I already have one loaded up here for you guys. Check this out. So you open it up. You're like, I think it was this one. No, it was this one. Hold on. I promise there's no porn in here, guys.
Yeah.
So I have this guy sitting on a bench. You can see. Click on that. Boom. And now our character is sitting on a bench. And obviously we would draw the bench, around it or whatever. It's not going to import that. But it gave us the pose. And now if we have a bench already drawn out, we can move the character over there. We can take this button here, move the character, boop, 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 boop. Maybe he's sitting on a mountain or something. And we want him smaller. We can zoom out. And it's kind of cool because you can see as we're moving this character. Oh, let me click off this. As we're moving this character, you could see the perspective grid, right? So you have a good idea of where you're at, and you're able to adjust the camera angle, you're able to adjust the viewpoint, all of that, right? And then
Can you adjust the light
character
too?
Yeah, so there is an option. I didn't mess with that you can adjust the lighting. Hold on, I think. Here we go. I want to say it's this. Is it camera? Oh, no, there it was. It was just on it. Light source. So yeah, you can adjust the light source, the intensity of the light source, and then
Wow.
yeah, you can see how it's casting a shadow. Where is the option to change the? Oh, there it is. So you just move it around in this ball, and you can see where it's. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty neat.
And then I don't know. There's other options in here you can really mess with. Fog. This is like, ambient occlusion type stuff, right? Where like your character's far away, you won't see him as well. And this is like if you're setting up a scene, so you can do all this stuff. It's really cool. There's a lot of really cool options in this, and they're continuing to build this out. And they also have all sorts of poses you can pick from. And of course, you have the entire Clip Studio library that people create poses and upload them to Clip Studio, so you can pick from them at any time. So we have a character running. Looks like I got to download that one. It's not actually in my downloaded library right now. This character. We'll see. We relax. Is it going to give me a new character? It might. Hold on. It might freeze up for a minute because my computer's being wonky. Hold on. Meh. All right. I don't have it all completely figured out. Mostly because I don't actually use this on my computer anymore. To be honest, I don't even know where my object selection tool is. Where the hell is that at? There it is. Okay, so we can do this. Make him relaxing. Drag it right onto the layer. All this stuff. So all these things.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat. And like I said, there's lots of things. You can even transform the character. The actual scale of the character. So like say they're a tiny person, it'll actually scale it. It won't change the perspective. It'll just scale the character up and down. You can change the camera view here in the side. And then where is the, hold on. There is a transform character. That's not it though. Where is it? There are options to change the character, but I don't know where that is right now on this one. Why? Oh, and you get manga perspective. That's cool. Okay, that's new. I didn't see that one either. So, like, there's lots of really cool. Yeah, you can see the character disappears based on like how much fog there is.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is the forced perspective
there
we were
we
talking
go.
about.
That's
See?
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And then yes, there is somewhere in here an option to change the character, like whether they're muscular or whatever. I don't know where that is on this one. Transform. No, that's not it. Let's see. That was weird. You can put them on the ground. But anyways, yeah. So you. Oh, here we go. Change body shape. Duh. So let me. Oop. No, he's got ridiculously large feet. Okay, so we got the character right. Now we can be like, okay, we want him fatter, or muscular, or this is giant fat guy. Zoom in so you guys can see better. Now we got this giant fat guy. Oh, now we got this little skinny person. And then you can make their shoulders wider now, which is really cool. Yeah, so you can just change all sorts of things. So Clip Studio, really awesome tool. I mean, again, there is some drawbacks, right? And then like kind of what some of the things that we have been talking about is that it takes time to do these things, to get it in the position you're looking to get it for. All that stuff. Let's see. Bam says pre-3D render poses. Yes. Boba drink straw? What's that? Then I'm out. What? My goodness. All right. Brian, are you on mute, dude? Oh, we've lost Brian's audio. How is it possible? Brandon, can you hear him?
I cannot hear him.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. I really like Clip Studio. And so like here's the part where I wanted to get into a little bit was and we'll get Brian's feedback here once he figures out his audio. Always having technical problems, man. It's one of us always has having something, right?
Testing.
There you are. Hey, okay, we can hear you now. That was weird, right?
I'm blaming Windows for this shit.
All right.
It just makes up rules.
I'm right there with you, dude. We can all blame Windows. So like from my perspective, right? A lot of these tools are super helpful when you're struggling. When you're like, hey, how does this go? How does this character move? And like, what does the anatomy look like? A lot of these tools have their drawbacks. Like some of them clearly don't have any anatomy at all built into them, where it's just like soft shapes. And it's nice if you could see the actual like basic shapes of the character, but when you're just seeing the figure and how it poses, it's not really helping you more than beyond just giving you the idea. Now, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about these posing tools? Like, is this something that you like to use? Brian, like you were kind of talking about, like these are all new things to you. Are these things that you are gonna try to use more of? Or does it seem like a waste of time to you? Where are you at?
Are
you a poser?
Of the ones, hopefully my audio is better now.
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Of the ones that I did, I probably wouldn't use them again, truthfully. I mean, there were some things that were kind of interesting about it, but for the way I work, I don't see me actually engaging with that kind of stuff. What you showed me with Clip Studio has me intrigued, because like if I can take a model that's just, I slap in a model and then I take a pose from, real life, I guess this is the way it works, but I can take a real life pose that I'm looking for, and it'll take that model, put it in that pose, and then I can rotate it to a different perspective that I find more appealing. I might try that. Yeah. The Clip Studio has that their tools, built-in tools, are phenomenal. Now, admittedly, I don't use them as much as I probably should or could, but for the exact same reason, right? Like it's not really quite part of my workflow at the point it's at right now. Yeah.
I think it's much easier for me to just render out a character and just draw it out and kind of use this as a backup. But as I do more panel works, it might be more beneficial because of how big the Clip Studio library is. And this is something that people have figured out to a T. And this is why we have so many webtoons now, is they use these very, very regularly. They have an entire asset like library they've built for themselves out of these posing tools. Primarily, I see most people are using Clip Studio to do this, where they have all their characters already designed. And that's another thing I didn't even touch on is you have the ability to draw on top of those models too. You can just draw on them. So if you want to, if you have like the character has a tattoo, you could draw the tattoo on the character so that when you pose him, that tattoo is gonna be in the same spot every time. So like a lot of people have all these different things already created for their comic, and now they're just able to whip them out because they have them already pre-built. So I think in that retrospect, it's great if you do the work up front. The more work you do up front, the less work you have to do when it comes down to doing the actual work. But as of right now, where I'm at, it's a little bit more difficult for me to get that into my workflow. But do I think it's extremely beneficial? Yes.
Yeah. What I would find more interesting is being able to put clothing, especially like some loose clothing, coats and stuff, and put a person in that position, and then being able to see at least an approximation of like where folds are. I mean, I spend a lot of time looking for real references just to see like if someone's kind of posed this way, how does this coat actually fit this way, or how does this shirt, where are the folds, that kind of stuff. So that would be, if they added that kind of feature, I would be all over that.
Yeah, I am going to tell you right now, there's so many things on the store, as far as the Clip Studio store, that there might be something like that already exists, like characters that have clothing and stuff like that. But the problem then is I think like this is the direction they're going, is trying to figure out how they can convert like an actual someone drawing something on their 3D models to something that they can use over and over again. Is like then you could do stuff like that where you could draw the fabric once, and then you can kind of manipulate it every other time you do it. But there are all sorts of things on the Clip Studio store that I'm not even aware of. It's crazy. When I go on there, when I'm like looking for a brush, I'm like looking for a paintbrush, and I'm finding all these crazy things. You can pull out an entire cityscape, load it into Clip Studio, and convert it down to line weights, and literally now you have a background. You just got to draw your characters into it, and that's what so many people are doing.
Yeah. Do you think that, I don't want to say a cheat, because I know we, as artists, we use references all the time, but do you think when you get to the point where you're almost taking a thing just as it is and just kind of drawing over it and you render it from that way, do you think that kind of cheats your brain of that sort of problem-solving step of learning how, like where shadows fall and that kind of like piecing together why something looks the way it is, rather than just cutting to the end and saying, I'm just going to drop it in and that looks good enough.
I got something to say to that then.
Go for it, Brent.
So I would say it's not so much of a cheat at the beginning of it, but if you do it enough, just like how you do an art study with like eyes or how your arms fold, stuff like that. Yeah. I think if you do it enough using it, and then eventually you could just be like, you know what? I remember from the time that I did this. This is how this is. So I would say that it's more of a learning tool, just like having a wooden mannequin, something like that, and it's real, it's there, but fortunately and unfortunately for some people, and the way that I think about things too is that we have technology to be able to use it, and other people use technology to cheat with it. Yeah. So it's a hand-in-hand thing, I guess.
Yeah, and I think, so to that point, right, like, I definitely think there's a benefit to using these types of tools because when I first started learning how to draw and how to draw things, I was tracing, right? Because I was learning because I was learning through tracing. So my brain and hand connection could establish that connection and get better at it. And at some point, I would just have this built-in memory of like, oh, this is the way that I've seen so many, renders or sketched out things that I've traced have drawn this wrinkle or fold in some way, that's the way now I'm doing it, right? I've begun doing it that way because it's a built-in memory. But I do think that it does shortchange you a little bit, because if you're not taking the extra steps in breaking down what you're drawing and you're just going right into the drawing phase, you're drawing the 3D model and you're going to lose a little bit of that if you don't know what you're doing. So if you're just like, I'm just tracing this 3D model all the time, that's what you're going to know how to draw, is that 3D model, right?
Right.
Well, that's
So
what I was going
I
to say
think
earlier too. For that,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I think it definitely shortchanges you if you don't know all the extra steps in between taking that 3D model pose and giving it anatomy and giving it muscles and seeing how the muscles fold and move around. And I'll admit, dude, like there's certain muscles that I have no idea how they connect on the skeleton, and maybe I never will because it's not necessary. But like having a little bit of that knowledge of how things, extend and extract and extract. I used the wrong word there. What the heck word am I looking for? Contract and what's the word? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Sure. Contract and extract. Getting stuck up on little things. Yeah, that one. If you don't know how those little things, then you're going to draw the same thing, right? Because the 3D model doesn't do that for you. You're the when you're doing the character, the muscle doesn't really move. You get a little bit of bend there, but you're not going to get the muscle oiling up and then the tricep oiling up when you set shutting it out.
I thought you were talking about the guns,
The guns, baby. I haven't worked these guns out in forever, man. But yeah, I think just with anything, right? You got to use it as a tool, and you has to still use it in a way that's going to teach you something versus using it 100% to rely on all the time. Matt says, if you can use tools like this just as a reference when you need it, that's fine. But if you lean on it too much as a crutch, I find the artwork looks very static. Yep, agreed. I see that a lot in webtoons. From like I'll be reading webtoon, I'm like, dude, this is 100%. And when I say I'm reading a webtoon, I'm usually reading over my wife's shoulder. Babs is contractually speaking, there is an extension for the contract. You're ridiculous. So yeah, like I'll see this a lot where you can tell that the artist just took the 3D model, drew over top of it, and then called it a panel. Versus like what we do is like we use it as a reference to look at, and then we'll draw it from that, and then include our style and our existence in that piece of what we know and what we've learned up to this point, because we're not relying 100% on the image. We're taking the image, we're putting it in our brain, and we're spinning it back out in the way that we actually see it,
right?
With our knowledge, right? So,
yep. It's just something with this whole 3D posing mannequins and stuff like that. As artists, and we all do it, and you can't say that you don't. If we're out at the mall or at a Walmart or at a park, we're always looking at everybody. So this takes the creepiness out of looking at models. But if we could tell it to everybody right now, it's part of the fun. It's the mystery. But if we could tell everybody that watches this podcast, if you ever see any one of us looking at anybody, chances are we're not listening to anybody's talking to us at all, because now we're going, I didn't know that your jaw goes down this far to go do this, so now I'm going to use that and something I'm going to do at home later to draw a character that could look like an alligator person because your jaw just moved one weird way that we saw one time.
Yeah.
But with these 3D posing programs and everything now, if we're thinking about it, in my opinion, we're making too much work out of it for that.
Yeah.
So I myself would use these as an outside thing. If I'm going, man, that guy just fell off a building and he hit the railing at the bottom of the steps. I want to see what it's like when his head touches his ankles through a fence post, as opposed to I never want to see that in real life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said, right? Like as artists, as we're always trying to evolve ourselves, and when we look at things, we try to look at things in a term of how we would create it. Maybe that's kind of a weird ego thing. Maybe that's just the way we see the world.
right.
But I think using our experiences in everyday life is a lot more dependable than relying on a tool 100%. Matt says, "Well, depends on the mall you go to. You might see that."
Don't go to the mall Matt goes to.
Yeah, yikes! What the heck mall are you going to, bro? My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can see it as like if they are taking it as just a piece of something that they are as part of their repertoire of many things, and they're using it as I'm still trying to figure out and learn and figure out like why this works the way it works, and it's just one piece of many things. Yeah, I can see there's advantages to that.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Brian's or not Brian. Oh my gosh. Bam says, "What? Just embrace the creepy and tell a complete stranger to walk out of the building and re-enter, just so you can observe the door AC blast blowing their hair around again."
I have had my wife do that several times for me, but for more than one reason. But most of the time, it's art.
For more than one reason, he says. Kelly says, "Brian thumbs." He knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the longest time before all this stuff, I was drawing my hands. I was using my own hands as reference. And I have a thumb that is a hitchhiker thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one of those. Yeah.
So I was drawing all my thumbs like that, and she was looking at them, going, "What is wrong with your thumbs? Why do you draw your thumbs like that?" And I was like, "What? That's how thumbs look."
That's how a thumb looks.
Like, no, because hers is like straight up, and I was like, "That's weird."
Yeah, probably normal. That's hilarious. You know what? I wonder if I've done that and never noticed.
So that's the downside of using your own. If you have some weird thing about you
yeah. So, and so many of us do that. We'll just take a picture of our finger or our hand and be like, yep. I've done that 1,001 times. I tell you, man. Mm-hmm. There's probably more pictures of hands in my thing. People would think I was a creep and I have a thing for hands, but you look through my Google Photos, you're like, bro, what's going on here? You're into hands, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I got
everyone has their own
ways to draw your own hands.
Yeah, right. It's funny. So, yeah, definitely, that's funny as heck, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys had to recommend using this, what would be your recommendations for everybody at home who is new at art? Most people we have in the crew, we're all pretty seasoned. But for anybody who's watching this later, what would you recommend for them? Would you recommend they use one of these tools? Would you recommend they go a different route? What do you think?
I would say, to be completely honest, I like the Pose-It one, right? But always keep a physical reference. You know, if you're going to do the Pose-It thing, grab an action figure and see if you could do the same thing with it, or manipulate them both to see which ones you can manipulate the best in your own sense of realism, or reality, if you want to call it that. That's what I recommend.
Okay, Brian.
I would say if you're starting out, use it, but use it very minimally to help you out over a learning curve of something, but don't overly depend upon it. Because I think you need to work through those challenging moments of like this is hard to really find that growth that you need, especially at the beginning stages.
Yeah. So I'm kind of on the same vein, right? Like I think this is a great tool. I think if you need it, and if you're already using Clip Studio, it's already built in, it's already there for you. Use it if you need it, but don't use it as a crutch. Use it as a learning tool. Make sure that you're able to, at the end of the day, after you've done all the learning you can do, that you have the ability to take this, look at a piece of paper, and draw a pose that you came up with a week ago, right? Or that you've seen a week ago with posing a tool. But you have to study the realism as well to get the understanding of how the body actually works. So I definitely 100% recommend more frequently looking at actual human beings versus using a posing tool. But that being said, if your inability to come up with poses and your inability to be consistent with something is stopping you from doing the thing, use it until you don't need it anymore. That's my recommendation. Thank you. Now I will say here is something that I would recommend to everybody. Check this out. I'm gonna put I gotta refresh it. I'm gonna put this link in the chat here for you guys to check out. For those of you who are interested, who are always looking for references and all this other stuff, I'll share the screen. I'll share this out, and then we'll do our ending segment here. Sharing the screen, doing the things, putting it up. There it is. Okay, this is a website called QBrush. Brian, I know you were saying that the people that you used to follow kind of disappeared. Mm-hmm. I go here if I need a set of references and things. You can actually get quite a few of these for pretty cheap, good deals. A lot of these people will give you deals if you buy more than one, and they have different licensing agreements you can get to if you want do studies and classes. You can pretty much search anything you would like here in QBrush, and they sell more than just picture assets. This thing is fantastic. You can buy brushes, all sort of stuff. Again, no affiliation with these guys at all. I'm not, so if you go over there, you buy stuff, it's not like one of those things where you're going to get something from us. But check it out. These guys, they have a lot of fantastic models, a lot of fantastic references. There is a lot of nudity in some of these, so keep that in mind. Some of them obviously are clothed, so you can kind of see like, oh, that's cool. I like this character design. I can adjust this. So you can purchase that, right? And they'll have a bunch of poses and stuff like that. So check out QBrush, guys. This is a great asset, and I recommend it because I don't want it to go away. It is a really awesome place to check out. Yes, and Matt recommends following the Pose Archives. Those guys are also very awesome. So Brian, check them out.
Those are the guys I was looking for, and they used to be on Instagram, and then they seemed like they just disappeared. I did finally find some of their stuff on DeviantArt, but it was like
I'm pretty sure that's where I follow them, is on Instagram.
They're still there because it seemed like last time I checked, it was like even like the stuff that I had saved of theirs had disappeared out of my saves.
Let's check it out. Maybe it's a you problem.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding. We did a whole episode for you, Brian. No,
are they still there? Weird.
Pose Archives. Let's see. They are still there, he says. That's not it, is it? That's not it.
She looks surprised.
Not coming up for me. Weird.
You have been blocked.
We saw you looking at our photos too much. I don't know.
Somebody turned on like parental controls for my account.
Right.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. Definitely know what you're talking about, but Matt says they are still there. Matt, you're gonna have to send us a link, dude.
Yeah.
I can't find them.
Yeah, that's the one. I had saved a bunch of poses of theirs, and then suddenly, poof, they were gone. And then I could find like a Gumroad of those, but I couldn't find like all the stuff.
Yeah, because they are. I want to say, unless it's a different group I'm thinking of that does the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I've seen them pop up on my screen before, so they gotta exist.
Try the Pose Archives.
The Pose Archives. Let's see.
Because I see them all over, like Blue Sky, Patreon,
Is that the difference? Is
Facebook, Gumroad.
Yeah, it is
Could be.
the Pose Archives.
They're on X right now.
Yeah. But look at their
So I
activity
see
on
them.
X. Isn't it kind of old?
I'm not sure. I don't even have Twitter X or whatever. I just Googled to see if I could find it. I honestly like using Instagram and Pinterest. I guess is another thing my wife turned me on to too. Pinterest has a lot of poses and stuff that you can go through.
Says their Instagram page is not available.
Yep.
If you go to Instagram.com/The Pose Archives, not available.
The mystery deepens.
You know, I wonder if they, with everything that's going on with Meta, if they took their stuff off. It's very possible. But I guess if Matt says they're there, I don't know.
It's a conspiracy.
Yep, look at Matt says, yep, that's weird. They did all of a sudden disappear. I have a feeling they deleted their account based on all the things that are going on with Meta and AI, and that is another thing that we will talk about on another episode of Artist in Progress. So, guys, we're going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Thank you, guys, for hanging out as usual. Anything you guys want to talk about, you're dropping this upcoming week? Brandon, Brian?
Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, I guess the coming up very soon is that cover I did for Moppets. That's going to be releasing soon.
Hell yeah.
And I just did a interview with the Superhero Project that I think it should be on YouTube now, even though the audio for that is also screwed up. But we just did an interview with it was Taryn Cozy and I talking about stuff I had done, things I'm working on, and I kind of went down a hard road again, but it was fun. It was a good interview. We had a good time. And Taryn's going to be on here in a couple weeks, I think.
Yep, the 21st. The 21st, we'll have her on the episode. Next week, we have a really awesome guest as well, Mr. Fish, a.k.a. Fish Lee. He will be on hanging out. We'll be talking about comics and making a living with comics, full-time job.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be something exciting and new to listen to. Hopefully some excitement for our viewers that this is all possible. It is actually possible. We know a couple guys that do this full time, but this dude, he's like, making some serious cash, and he's doing the things, and he's having a good time doing it. And we've got lots to talk about with Mr. Fish. He's a fantastic guy. I've known him, through the interwebs. I've known of him. We met at 5-Star Comic Con, so that's kind of where we connected to have him on the show. So, looking forward to that. Brandon, you got anything you coming out this week, or you working on, or anything you want to drop?
I'm aside from working on this commission for somebody that's gonna pop a question. I'm hoping pretty soon.
Cool.
I was thinking about trying to get into the Hershey's Comic Con. I know I've heard some ups and downs about it, but
yeah,
I'm trying to fill a spot between now and Retro Game Con too. And my birthday is this coming month, so I'm going to be getting old.
Nice.
And Spider-Man Brand New Day's coming, so I'm going to be going to the movies a lot, probably drawing a lot of Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for Spider-Man. We definitely got to do I know it's like completely not our content, but I definitely want to do like a mini review stream. I think it'd be fun.
What was I going to say? I hope you guys don't mind me just saying this, but if anybody's watching and there's something in particular that you want to see on here, I think you guys should reach out, because not only are we here for us, but we're here for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you guys have anything that you want to hear about, you wanna come on the show, whatever you want to talk about, let us know. If you check the description, there's 2 different forms in there. The first form is you can join our Discord, you can hang out with us. And it's like a very much a studio environment, and we hop on, people can hop on when they can, whenever they want to. And we kind of just hang out and chat and We got a couple of you guys that are in here, and yeah, definitely. And there's also a link if you want to be on the show. But if you have something specific you would love for us to talk about, feel free to drop it in the comments. I will definitely keep that in mind. I have a rolling list of thoughts, but I'm always looking to add to it. So yeah, please do. Yeah, good point, Brandon. Bam says, how old are you going to be?
43.
Wow. All right, cool. Well,
Yes, sir.
congrats on 43. Eternally 30, right?
Yeah.
Bam says, can you get Mark Silvestri and Bridget Silvestri on the show? Now, all right, you're gonna have to tell me who is Bridget Silvestri? That's the first time I've heard that name. Is that like his daughter or his wife or something?
I'm not sure. I know that Mark is going to be preoccupied doing I think a whatnot with Todd McFarlane here pretty soon too.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's not tell anybody about it so that we can get some good swag.
It won't be on Tuesday.
Okay. He says his wife. Okay, that's cool. Does she? I wonder what she does. That's curious. We'll have to talk about that later for sure. But yeah, any other suggestions you guys have you want to hear us talk about, like where we're at? I have a ton of things coming down the line as far as pretty much everything going on. So the Moppets drops officially July 1st. Get those pre-orders in so you can get an entry to win the glow-in-the-dark medal or a glow-in-the-dark cover. And then after everything is all said and done with that, we also have, so July 1st will also be a Whatnot show. So if you sign up on the website for the pre-launch and you get all the information, even if you don't pre-order, you'll get the information for the Whatnot show, which is happening July 1st, which you'll have another opportunity to win these covers. No purchase necessary whatsoever on that show. And then we are also going to be doing a giveaway on this show in a couple weeks after that is all said and done. So that's all happening. Very exciting. Brian's got some cool stuff coming. I actually, it's kind of cool. I got some of his prints signed by an artist, the artist who did the original cover that he homaged. So it's just really cool. I got to get those out to you, boss. And then so after that, we have some other things coming online we can't quite talk about as far as some other covers coming on the line because I don't want to jinx it at the moment right now because God only knows how that works, right? And then the three of us in Banff in the chat is we are also working on another project that we're going to be having a lot more details coming real soon at you guys, which we have a couple meetings about. So we'll drop some more info as time goes on about that as we can start promoting it. So lots of things happening, lots of guests, lots of all sorts of things going on. So keep an eye out, follow us, check us all out. Brian is at Mantlebeard, Brandon is at Chaos Within, and I am at Sketching the Beast. And thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will catch y'all next Tuesday. Peace.